This season is giving. This season is giving. I know some of us were a little bit skeptical before because of the whole, like, some stories feeling fabricated, but wow. This next episode, wow. I'm actually going to be on time tomorrow because it's too good to miss. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight UK Season 8, Episode 14 and 15. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Honey, the notes are noting today. We have a lot to get through. Quickly running through what the couples are feeling before going into the cocktail party. Roz and Thomas have been getting jiggy. Those are her words, not mine. And this time it went a lot better. Ella and Nathaniel have gotten more touchy, but things are still not too great between them. Shona feels like she has to mind her words in front of Brad. Emotional abuse. Okay. Then apparently there was a game of spin the bottle that has caused quite a stir.
Did Porsha go?
Well, she was nogging everyone as well.
Really?
Yeah. Terence is a good guy. And that just shows that she has no respect for that man.
They clearly aren't here for the right reason, and that kills me inside.
Talk about intimacy week. Okay. What I'm not understanding about this whole situation is it's not like Porsha was playing spin the bottle by herself. If Porsha was kissing husbands, people were kissing her in return. So why this is all falling on Porsha, I'm not fully understanding. I think the only thing is that Terence wasn't present during the game, and that is why people feel like it's a relationship violation. However, she told Terence about it after the fact, which doesn't make it any better, but Terence has been told, and seemingly Terence is okay with it. So why there's all this vitriol for Porsha going into the cocktail party is beyond me. As the couples are rolling in, this is, of course, the topic of conversation.
Everyone's been talking about it, so that's what I hate, things when people have been talking behind your back.
Who's got bits?
I don't know, but we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the party.
If Terence did it to you, would you be annoyed?
Why is that your business?
Terence is my friend. I'm intrigued because we completely disagree with what the actions have occurred.
What do you disagree about?
Why not come and knock my door and then come and speak to me and be like, Terence, do you know what? Like, wait till you get in front of everyone to do that kind of thing.
The thing that was annoying me was that a lot of people were making it bigger than Terence himself was making it. And typically, I would have been like, you know, I guess sometimes it takes hearing something from another person for you to now look at it with a different perspective. But he's a big man. He's in his 40s, isn't he? Isn't he 40, 45, something like that? Like, he's a big man. Like, he can make his own decisions. He's already forgiven Porsha, and he's already told the other guys, like, yo, like, really, it's not that deep. But the more he's hearing about it, the more he's getting pressed about it. So he's saying, you know, I need to have a conversation with Porsha about what cheating means. And because it was under the guise of a game, he doesn't necessarily consider it cheating, but taking consideration of the reaction she had hearing that he was a previous cheater, the morals that she claims she holds herself to, that's what's making his head go into the mindset of, well, if it were me, this would have been a bigger issue. George was getting on my last nerves because, again, Terence has yet to make it as much of a spectacle as everyone else has. But George is now going to be like, well, I'm just doing this to look out for you, and how dare you be this and how dare you be that. And in as much as I agree with the fact that Porsha shouldn't have engaged in the game, especially in the absence of her husband, at least if he was there and everybody was consensually agreeing to this wife-husband swap thing, then that's a different story. To now be the judge, jury, and executioner when her own husband is not having this much vim for the situation was a little weird to me. Once the dinner has started, Terence decides to address the table and let them know that he is cool with his wife. And if you want to put her in her place, like, that's not something that he's going to be okay with. George is standing on his conviction, saying that he's not going to apologize. He said what he meant and he's looking out for his friend. And the whole thing just kicks off.
I don't know why George and Peggy decided to sort of come with this whole what's happening with Porsha. Don't bring it in front of everyone. There was no need for that.
He has no right to question me about anything.
Why do I not?
Because who are you? I wasn't there. You can have your opinion between you and your relationship.
Porsha.
I I know this is not Mr. I want my woman to have big breasts talking about morals and all this kind of stuff. Like and it even gets worse for him. He is like, I'm looking out for my friend. Your friend didn't even give you approval to talk to Porsha like that. So now you're attacking your friend's wife, which is not boding well with your friend. You see? And then near the end, Peggy and Porsha now go at each other. And then George was like, don't talk to Peggy like that. Don't talk about my wife. That's exactly what you were doing earlier. That's exactly what you were doing earlier. So yeah, my annoyance isn't whether or not Porsha was right or wrong. I think we can all agree that she was wrong. But for George to take up the responsibility of disciplining her was weird. Skimming through some things at the dinner party, Laura told Arthur that she loves him. It was a quick thing, but I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know we were there with y'all. Tasha wants an engagement ring from Paul, not just the wedding band. Era and Jordan tell the group that they've consummated their marriage. George refuses to apologize, and Terrence takes JJ aside to see where things stand with him and Bianca. They're obviously still just friends. Then we have Ella and Nathaniel, who have a chip on their... I said his name weird, didn't I? Whatever. Ella and Nathaniel, who have a chip on their shoulder about people perceiving them as being friends and them not progressing as far as they would have liked to by this point.
She needs to shove her opinion back up her ass. You do know it's an experiment and we're here to try. Yeah. And I feel like you can clearly see I've been trying. And I feel like I'm being alienated because I'm not in the place that I want to be because of my husband, not because of me.
I know that.
Do not chat about her. And if you want to chat about us, tell us first.
I agree.
Honestly, regarding the friendship couple things, like this is not Love Island. This is not a situation where like the most in love popular couple wins at the end. Like it's okay to not be as far along as everybody else, especially because the show is an experiment. Like Ella said, there are experts here who are here to help nurture these relationships if they're stagnant or if they're regressing. It's okay. Like it's okay to just be stuck in the friend's frame, I feel, as long as there's effort being put in. That's why even some of the couples that I don't believe in, I can still see them seeing the experiment through to the end, but maybe not having a relationship afterwards. I don't think that that's a bad thing. Then you have Laura and Shona who are, was it Shona? Yeah, Laura and Shona who are continuing to stoke this fire of drama, and they're now telling Porsha about what Peggy has been saying about her, and things just come to blows.
I don't go around having opinions about your relationship or anyone else's.
But you're allowed to.
Keep my name.
Keep my fucking name out your mouth.
I never talk about you. You're boring.
Ferme ta gueule, grosse merde. Calme-toi. Je vais faire la tête. Il y a beaucoup de mal-respect sur ma femme. Je suis pas content.
Again, I know this is not you talking, George. Like, you, like, he... whatever sense of entitlement that he has gotten these last few weeks is just mind-blowing to me. He now feels like Porsha shouldn't talk to Peggy in the way that he's talking to her, and the way that she's talking to her, even though he has been attacking Porsha against Terence's advisement. Well, he didn't advise. They didn't really say anything, but he didn't give you permission to talk to his wife like that. So why are you attacking her? You know what I mean? The group is definitely not taking to George very well. I can understand why. Of course, in this process, it's okay for everyone to have their opinions on each relationship. But again, this whole like, I'm better than you, let me discipline you, let me show you how you're wrong, is not really gonna land well with a lot of people. So anyways, the next day, Peggy is still reeling with the idea that her friends don't like her husband.
Peggy, please.
I'm not a malicious person, babe, and it's really hard.
I do feel bad for her because this is clearly bothering her more than me.
It's the worst feeling in the world to think that your friends and best friends do not like your husband.
You know I love you and I've always got your back. I don't have your husband's back, but I support you in anything you do.
I feel like eventually Peggy's gonna come to the realization that George just is not it. At times, he still exhibits these man-boy characteristics. He's just not it. But anyways, in the meantime, when she's on her journey to discovering that, she decides to go and apologize to Ella, who does accept the apology, but is still not fond of George. I don't blame her. George is somebody who just doesn't really know time and place, whether that's with other people or with Peggy. So after a while, it does get exhausting and annoying. So Terence was talking to George and Jordan about this whole kiss thing and whether or not it is cheating. However, we're not going to touch on it too much because it's going to come up in the commitment ceremony. At the commitment ceremony, Brad and Shona were not present. And so some people have been saying it in the comments, but I realize the comments and the people who watch the videos sometimes are two different groups of people, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But you can make an educated guess as to what's going to happen with them based on how Brad has been talking to Shona. So let's move on to the couples who are actually here. Roz and Thomas are first on the couch. Honestly, things have just done a 180 between them. Thomas says that the hugging challenge is what progressed his feelings for her, which is what Roz has been asking for weeks. She just wanted a cuddle. But then again, Roz, no, Roz, because isn't sex more intimate than a cuddle? How that make sense, girl? Anyways, things are good between them. They choose to stay. Then you have Bianca and JJ who are next. And JJ says that his type, as we know, is not Bianca. But it's not even just the model type either.
It's been like kind of girls that have had a lot of work done and they kind of all look the same. I'm not like in this, no disrespect, just to like sleep with someone. I could do that anyway.
For me, it was just even putting your arm around me, just for the reassurance that you've got me. If this goes too slow, I'll just envision it as a friendship, and then for me, that's it, I'll shut it down.
So this man wants a plastic Barbie. He says his type is women who have a lot of work done. That's what he typically goes for. And I'm like, see, I was walking with you yesterday, but I'm not walking with you today, sir. I'm not walking with you today because you can have a model-esque type beauty and not have augmentations. And then also you doing this whole, well, I don't want to progress too much because it's gonna, give a false sense of where we are in the relationship, and I don't want to give her hope, and I don't want to lead her on, and whatever. I'm just looking out for her. But no, if you were attracted to her, you would have been intimate with her. And it doesn't have to be full on sex, but a lot more physically affectionate, at the very least, verbally. So he's like, yeah, I'm trying to change my ways because in the past I would just jump into bed with people and I'm trying to be different. No, you just don't like her. So Bianca shared her grievances to the experts, and apparently that was a blindside to JJ. He hasn't heard it in that way. I don't know how more clear Bianca could have been. She said it at the honeymoon. She's saying it now. JJ is confused. I'm confused why he's confused. But either way, they both decided to stay. Tasha and Paul are next. Like, what can we say? The music was throwing me off a little bit. The music was making me think that Tasha was going to say something like negative. And I was like, wait, hold on, wait. You're my favorite couple. What's happening? But no, things are going really well between them. She says she feels so safe and she's never felt this comfortable with someone before. Love that for them. Then you have Peggy and George, who are realizing that they are the least favorite couple in the experiment at the moment.
I've gone in and I've been more reactive than factual.
And sometimes I feel like he's trying to reassure George, advise him on his actions and how they can be perceived negatively. I need you to realise, George, I don't want to keep on saying it to you.
You know.
Is it me?
I know, but sorry.
A few weeks ago, we talked about Peggy likely going to get tired of having to teach George how to be an adult. The time has come. And I can't blame her. It's not even just a matter of, hey, I would like you not to have beef with all of my friends, but just to know, like, there are certain ways to address conflict with people, and making a spectacle of something in front of everybody, especially when you are friends with one of the parties involved, is not the way to go. Take them aside and have a conversation. And if you felt like it was your place to stick up for your friend, at least give them the heads up, like, hey, I feel like what your wife did wasn't good, so I'm going to address it. Is that cool with you? And if he said no, you'd have to respect that. And if he said yes, you still could have handled it in a way that was a little bit more classy than how you did. So Peggy, sis, do you want to deal with this for a long time? I don't know. Also, on Discord, some people were talking about the different shows that people on this show have been on before. Both Peggy and George have been on previous dating shows. Was it dating shows or just shows in general? I don't know. But George is definitely trying to make his name known out here in these streets. And honey, we know who you are, George. We know who you are. Erica and Jordan are next on the couch. Again, with them, literally nothing to say. Things have just been getting on like a house on fire. She welcomed her 25th birthday in the best way possible. Okay, getting your rocks off. And so, yeah, things are great between them. Then you have Ella and Nathaniel, who are next on the couch. And Nathaniel actually says he feels a lot more comfortable with Ella.
I don't want to be in this kind of territory for too long, and I shouldn't be worried about being in a friend zone.
So I just started being myself. She started being yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I can see I'm growing as a person, which is like the last thing I thought would happen.
100% stay.
Nathaniel, so, what the hell was the point of you doing an interview some weeks ago explaining your departure when this is what's happening? There are other people leaving the experiment before you. Why didn't you wait for the show to finish before you shared your story? Like, I just don't understand. Like, it's this couple confuses me. I think they're gonna end it as great friends. I don't think there's romantic potential here between them. But as far as the experiment is concerned, it seems like they're making good strides. So yeah, I don't understand why he felt like he had to have his story told on that interview. I don't know. Laura and Arthur are growing in more ways than one. And it seems like things are just going from strength to strength with these two. And then last on the couch, it's Porsha and Terence. And with them, you know, I kind of was looking at Terence a little bit sideways, because you mean to tell me the straw that broke the camel's back is a game of spin the bottle, when just a few weeks ago the woman was yelling in your face and calling you all kinds of names that were not a child of God. And but this spin the bottle, I get it. The undertone of spin the bottle was whether or not she was cheating. But to me, the disrespect from weeks ago was enough to really call the relationship.
I feel like it was a cheating element. I've tried to let it go, but it has been kind of niggling me. Do you know what I mean?
Look at me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And it won't happen again.
Terence, are you happy in your relationship?
There's elements I'm happy. Yeah? Yeah, something's not right at the moment.
So here we are. Terence wants to leave. Porsha does not want to leave. And then so she wants to hold this man under duress. She wants to imprison him in the experiment. This woman is like, the last time you told me to leave, you said you wanted to leave and I wanted to stay. We were able to work things out. And so just now you were kissing me just hours before. What do you mean you're going to leave? I'm going to stay. And by the end of this week, we're going to see if we still want to stay. Girl, don't fight for this more than your partner wants to fight for it, honestly. Especially in an experiment. If it was a real marriage, okay. But an experiment, girl, cut your losses. Cut your losses. So anyways, they decide to leave the experiment. The next episode seems to be hot and spicy. Hot and spicy. Okay, the girls are going at it. Tasha and Erica don't like each other. JJ and Ella have eyes for each other. And then we're finally going to see the whole Brad and Shona fallout. But also, I've seen your messages. And I know that Will and Jovu did an interview with Porsha. I'm going to watch it. I don't know if it's going to be worth reviewing, but I will watch it. And then if it's worth a whole review, I'll do a separate video. If it's just little tidbits here and there, I'll include it in the next review. But until then, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.